Close your eyes, take a deep breath. You are home now. The world outside can wait. Everything is done. Just be here, in the quiet. Welcome to Z in History. We are going back 1,000 years, but we are not in the halls. We are not in the villages. We go to the open ocean. We go to the deck of a longship with a man named Bjorn. Bjorn is a navigator. He lives by the rhythm of the tide and the wood. Today we will walk through his day with him, from the first light to the final shore. Chapter 1. Waking on the hull. The world is a pale grey light. It is that quiet moment before the sun breaks through the ocean mist. Bjorn wakes up on the deck of the longship. He is lying on a bench made of solid oak. Under him, the wood is cold and damp from the salt spray. He moves his legs and feels the stiff wool of his trousers. The fabric is heavy. It has been rubbed with animal fat to keep out the moisture. The air is sharp and biting. It carries the smell of old pine resin and the deep scent of the cold North Atlantic. He hears the rhythmic breathing of the crew around him. 30 men are sleeping in their furs. Their breath creates tiny clouds of white steam in the morning air. He does not have a clock. He has the motion of the ship. He feels the longship rising and falling with the swell. It is a slow, steady heartbeat. The ship is a living thing made of overlapping planks of oak. It is built using the clinker method. Each plank is secured with iron rivets. He listens to the wood. He can hear the ship groaning as it meets the resistance of the water. He feels the vibrations through the bench. He can tell the speed of the ship by the frequency of the thuds against the hull. Bjorn lies still for a moment. He lets his body adjust to the swaying. He listens to the lap of the waves against the side. Slap, slap, slap. The sound is consistent and grounding. He sits up slowly. He stretches his arms. His joints feel stiff from the night. He reaches for a leather water skin tucked under the bench. The water is flat. It tastes of the tanned leather and the pine tar used to seal the seams. He takes a slow and deliberate sip. He lets the liquid wake up his throat. He looks at the deck. The wood is grey and weathered. It is stained by salt and years of hard labor. He sees the mast rising into the mist like a dark finger. The ropes are slack. They sway with the motion of the vessel. Everything is quiet. The transition from sleep to the day is a slow process. Bjorn feels the weight of his task. He is the navigator. He must find the path through the empty grey. He stands up and tests his balance. He has the sea legs of a man who was born on the water. He looks at his companions. Most are still wrapped in their heavy cloaks. He sees the condensation on the iron of their shields. The shields are tied along the gunwale. They provide a wall against the spray. He walks to the center of the ship. He avoids the sleeping limbs of the men. He reaches the storage chest where his tools are kept. He checks the latch. The iron is cold and smooth. He feels a sense of readiness. The ship is his world. The ocean is his challenge. He is awake. He is present. The journey continues. Chapter 2. The Morning Council. Bjorn stands and walks toward the rear of the ship. This area is the lifting. It is the raised platform where the leaders observe the sea. He finds Eric the captain sitting by the steering oar. Eric is an old man with a beard, the color of sea foam. His skin is like leather from decades of salt and wind. He's already looking at the horizon. He is searching for the logic of the sky. Bjorn nods to him. They speak in low voices. They do not want to wake the men yet. They talk about the wind. The wind is coming from the north. It is a cold and steady force. Bjorn points to the grey clouds in the distance. He says the mist will lift when the sun climbs higher. 2 other older sailors join them. They are the skipari. They are the experienced men who know the language of the ship. They discuss the direction of the voyage. They are looking for the lands in the west. They talk about the landmarks they saw 2 days ago. They mention the height of the waves. The logic of the crew is calm. There is no shouting or fear. Every man knows his role in this machine. They decide to keep the current heading. They will follow the path of the sun once it appears. Bjorn discusses the drift. He calculates the lateral movement caused by the cross-current. He uses his hands to show the angles. He is building a mental map of the invisible ocean. Eric listens to Bjorn. He trusts the navigator's mind. They talk about the supplies. They check the status of the water barrels. They discuss the morale of the younger men. A long voyage requires steady nerves. The council is a ritual of clarity. It removes the chaos of the unknown. Bjorn feels the strength of the group. He is part of a collective mind. He is a gear in a larger system of survival. They look at the steering oar. It is a massive piece of oak. It is the lever that controls their fate. Eric grips the handle. He feels the pressure of the water against the blade. They talk about the depth. Bjorn suggests using the lead line later in the morning. He wants to know if they are passing over a hidden bank. Eric agrees. They look at the stars that are still visible in the west. They use the constellations to confirm the drift. This is a technical exchange of data. It is the engineering of a path. Bjorn looks at the faces of his friends. He sees the quiet determination. They are bound by the wood and the salt. The decisions for the day are made. The strategy is set. The council ends as the first hint of gold touches the edge of the world. Chapter 3. The Purpose of the Voyage. Bjorn looks out at the empty sea. He thinks about why they are here. They are not looking for gold or silver. They are looking for soil. They are looking for land that can feed a family. Back home, the valleys are crowded. The earth is tired and stony. There is not enough grass for the cattle. His family needs a place where the soil is deep and the winters are soft. This voyage is a mission of survival. It is a search for a new beginning for his children. Every league they sail is a step toward a better life. It is a movement of hope. The ship carries more than just men. In the center of the hull, there are bags of seeds. There are seeds for barley and rye. There are seeds for flax to make linen. There are bundles of tools made of iron and ash. They carry sickles and plows. They are carrying the data of their culture to a new world. They are moving an entire ecosystem across the salt water. Bjorn feels the weight of this responsibility. He is the one who must find the way. He is the link between the old world and the new. If he fails, the seeds will never touch the ground. If he succeeds, his people will have a future. The ocean is vast and dangerous. It is an indifferent force. But his logic is simple. He must follow the light and the wind until the grey line of land appears. He thinks about his wife and daughter. He remembers the scent of the hearth fire. He uses these memories to anchor his focus. He is a technician of the horizon. He calculates the speed. He estimates the remaining rations. He thinks about the animals they left behind. He hopes to see green hills instead of grey waves. The purpose of the sail is clear. It is the fuel for his endurance. It is the reason he ignores the cold. He looks at the hull planks. They are strong and flexible. They represent the skill of the shipbuilders. The ship is the vehicle for their ambition. It is the container for their dreams. Bjorn touches the wood. He feels the life in the oak. He knows that every man on board is betting his life on this voyage. They are explorers by necessity. They are navigators by trade. The mission is the most important thing. It is the core of his being. He turns his gaze back to the west. He is ready to find the future. The wind is starting to freshen. He can feel the ship responding. It is time to go. Chapter 4. The Sunstone Ritual. The sun is hidden behind a thick layer of grey clouds. Bjorn cannot see the horizon. The sky is a uniform wall of white. To an untrained eye, the direction is lost. But Bjorn has a tool. This is the moment for the sunstone. He reaches into a small leather pouch tied to his belt. He pulls out a crystal of calcite. It is a clear and heavy stone. It is a rhombohedral shape. He calls it the solar stein. He stands in the center of the deck. He holds the crystal up to the sky. He moves it slowly from side to side. He is looking for the hidden light. He watches the stone with intense focus. The crystal has a special property. It polarizes the light. As he turns it, the light inside begins to change. He sees two images of the sky through the stone. He rotates the crystal until the two images have the exact same brightness. He flickers the stone back and forth. Then it happens. A bright yellow glow appears in one specific spot. The logic of the stone is absolute. It finds the sun through the thickest fog. It reveals the position of the star even when it is below the horizon. Bjorn follows the yellow glow. He now knows exactly where the sun is located. He marks the direction in his mind. He looks at the mast. He calculates the angle between the sun and the ship's prow. He compares it to the angle of the wind. This is the living compass of his people. He repeats the measurements 3 times to be sure. Consistency is the foundation of navigation. He tells Eric the heading. He points his arm toward the invisible sun. The mystery of the sky is solved. The navigator has done his work. The ritual is complete. He puts the stone back into its pouch. He feels a sense of control over the elements. The stone is a bridge between the human mind and the cosmic order. It is a piece of logic carved from the earth. He explains the measurement to Leif. He shows the young man how to look for the glow. This is the transfer of knowledge. It is the continuation of the craft. Navigation is not magic. It is the observation of physical laws. Bjorn looks at the sky again. He can feel the heat of the sun behind the clouds now. He knows the heading. He is no longer lost. He has the coordinates of his existence. He is ready for the day. Chapter 5. Setting the sail. Bjorn calls out to the crew. The men wake up and throw off their furs. They move with the efficiency of a well-oiled machine. It is time to use the wind. Bjorn goes to the center of the ship. He joins 4 other men at the base of the mast. The mast is a tall pillar of pine. It is strong and flexible. It is the spine of the vessel. Above them, the great square sail is tied with ropes of hemp. The sail is made of heavy wool. It has been woven by the women of the village. It is dyed in stripes of deep red and off-white. The fabric is thick and smells of lanolin. They begin to pull. Bjorn feels the rough texture of the hemp rope against his palms. The rope is stiff with salt. They pull in rhythm. 1, 2, 3. They use the weight of their bodies. They lean back and haul. The sail unfurls like a massive wing. It catches the wind with a sound like a massive wing. It catches the wind with a sound like a thunderclap. Boom. The longship jerks forward. The sudden movement nearly knocks them off their feet. The ropes tighten and sing in the wind. Bjorn feels the power of the ocean being captured by the wool. The ship begins to tilt slightly to the side. This is the healing. The men move to the high side of the ship. They sit on their chests to balance the weight. The physics of the sail are perfect. The energy of the storm is now the energy of their progress. Bjorn looks up. He sees the red wool bulging against the grey sky. He watches the mast. It bends slightly under the pressure. It is a flexible system. A rigid ship would break in the waves. A Viking ship survives because it moves with the water. Bjorn checks the sheets. He adjusts the tension to catch the wind at the best angle. He works with the other sailors to trim the yardarm. They move with coordinated precision. The ship is slicing through the waves. The water at the bow is hissing. It is a white spray that flies over the deck. He feels the acceleration in his feet. The wood is vibrating with the speed. They are moving fast now. The wind is their servant. The sail is the engine. He looks at the horizon. The ship is a predator of the distance. It is a tool for the conquest of the grey. The day of travel has truly begun. He is satisfied with the set. The ship is alive. Chapter 6. Reading the water. Bjorn leans over the side of the hull. He is not looking for fish. He is looking for depth and direction. He watches the color of the water. Close to the coast, the water was a pale green. It was filled with the runoff from the land. Now it is a deep and heavy indigo. This color tells him that the ocean floor is far below. He is in the deep blue. He watches the foam created by the bow. He looks at the bubbles. If the foam is white and light, the water is clear. If it is dark or contains bits of sand, there is a current from a nearby shore. He looks at the shape of the waves. He sees a long and steady swell coming from the south. This is the deep pulse of the open sea. It is the result of winds thousands of miles away. He identifies a cross sea. This is where two different wave patterns meet. He uses the angle of these waves to check his heading. He is reading the water like a scribe reads a scroll. Every ripple is a piece of data. He spots a patch of floating seaweed. He recognizes the type. It is bladderwrack. He knows this species only grows near rocks. He calculates the drift in his head. The ocean is a system of signs. It is a language of motion and light. Bjorn knows how to translate them. He looks for the temperature of the water. He dips a hand in. If the water becomes warmer, he knows he is in a specific current. If it turns icy, he is moving too far north. He calculates the speed by watching a piece of wood float past. He counts the seconds between the bow and the stern. He is a human computer. He records the data in his memory. He looks for the bioluminescence. If the water glows at night, it tells him about the microscopic life. Even during the day, he can see the different shades of the deep. He is calm. The water is his map. He feels the connection between the ship and the deep. He understands the flow. He is not a stranger here. He is a part of the fluid logic of the world. The reading is done. The course is confirmed. He stands up and signals to Eric. Everything is correct. Chapter 7. The Rhythm of the Oars. The wind begins to die down. The great red sail hangs limp against the mast. The ship slows. The hissing at the bow turns into a soft ripple. Bjorn knows what must happen next. He calls for the oars. Each man goes to his station. Bjorn sits at his wooden bench. He reaches for the long handle of the oar. The oar is made of ash. The wood is worn smooth by years of labor. It has the shape of a long needle. He slides the blade through the oar hole in the hull. He feels the resistance of the cold water. It is a heavy and solid pressure. They begin to row. They row in a slow and steady beat. Bjorn follows the back of the man in front of him. Reach, pull, lift, return. The sound is a hypnotic chant. Splash, creak, thud. 30 oars hit the water at the exact same time. The longship moves forward with a rhythmic pulse. It is a collective effort. Bjorn feels the muscles in his shoulders beginning to burn. But he does not stop. The rhythm is his anchor. It is a low-frequency movement that clears his mind. He focuses only on the blade and the water. He watches the whirlpools created by his stroke. The ship is no longer a sailing vessel. It is a gallery of human power. The oars are the heartbeat of the voyage. They provide the momentum when nature is silent. Bjorn feels the sweat on his forehead. It is a cold sweat in the ocean air. He breathes in time with the stroke. In, out, in, out. In the logic of the oar is simple. It is the conversion of human energy into distance. They row for miles. The grey horizon stays the same. But the ship is moving. The men are silent. Only the sound of the oars remains. He watches the leather sleeves around the oars. They prevent the wood from grinding against the hull. He listens to the rhythmic grunts of the crew. It is the sound of an organic engine. He feels the synchronization. If one man is off, the whole ship feels it. They are perfectly aligned. The longship glides over the flat water. It is a beautiful and terrifying sight. A ship powered by the will of men. Bjorn feels the strength of his brothers. They are one body. They are one force. The rhythm continues. It is the pulse of survival. Chapter 8. Sharing the meal. The rowing continues for 2 hours. Then, Eric calls for a rest. The men pull their oars inside. They wipe the sweat from their faces. It is time to eat. This is the moment for the survival system. Bjorn goes to the wooden chest under his bench. This is his storage. It contains his life. He pulls out a piece of dried cod. The fish is hard and white. It is called stockfish. It has been dried in the cold wind of the fjords. He also finds a chunk of dark rye bread. It is tough and requires a lot of chewing. It is the fuel for his muscles. He shares his bread with the man sitting next to him. This is a young sailor named Leif. They do not talk much. They save their energy for the next shift. Bjorn takes a small horn of ale from a communal barrel. The ale is sour and thick. It is filled with the nutrients of the grain. It provides the calories he needs to stay warm. They eat with the logic of necessity. Every bite is an investment in the next mile. Every sip is a defense against the dehydration of the salt air. Bjorn looks around the deck. He sees the men sharing their rations. This is the bond of the ship. They eat from the same sea and the same soil. The salt on his lips reminds him of the world they left behind. He thinks about the cattle back home. He thinks about the fresh milk and the warm porridge. But he is satisfied with the dried fish. It is the taste of the journey. He cleans his knife or his trousers. He puts the remaining bread back into the chest. He checks his supply of dried berries. They provide the vitamins to keep his gums healthy. He watches a comrade eating a piece of salted pork. The fat is glistening. It is a sign of wealth on the ship. They all know the value of the calories. The meal is a quiet ritual of maintenance. It is the refueling of the human machines. He feels the warmth returning to his core. The rest is short. The sea does not wait. He is ready for the next task. He is a Viking. He is sustained by the cold. He stands up and stretches his back. The meal is over. Chapter 9. Watching the birds. Bjorn stands and looks toward the north. He narrows his eyes against the glare of the water. He sees a tiny speck in the sky. It is a puffin. He watches its flight path with the intensity of a predator. The bird is carrying a small fish in its beak. Bjorn knows this is the most important piece of data of the day. A bird with a fish is not wandering. It is going home to its nest. It is a biological pointer. It calculates the direction of the flight. The puffin is flying toward the west. It is moving with a determined beat. He looks at the water again. He sees a group of gulls circling a patch of white foam. They are diving and screaming. He knows they are feeding on a school of herring. This means the water is becoming shallower. It means the continental shelf is rising. He looks for the Arctic tern. This bird travels the longest distance of all. It is the master of the wind. If he sees a tern, he knows he is on the right path. He uses the birds as a living compass. They are the scouts of the longship. They see the land before the humans do. Bjorn tells Eric to adjust the steering oar. They follow the path of the puffin. The logic of nature is guiding them. The birds are part of the navigation system. Bjorn feels a sense of hope. The birds have seen what the men cannot. He watches a gannet dive into the water. It hits the surface like a white arrow. This is the activity of the shore. He thinks about the cliffs where the birds live. He thinks about the green moss and the rocky ledges. Land is out there. It is a physical reality waiting to be found. He identifies the different types of gulls. Some stay near the coast, others fly far out. The presence of the kittiwakes is a good sign. They are loud and energetic. He uses his hands to track their height. If they fly low, the weather might change. The birds are a multi-layered display of data. Bjorn listens to their cries. He understands their meaning. The ocean is no longer empty. It is filled with the signs of life. The navigator is satisfied. The path is clear. Chapter 10. Tying the knots. The wind returns with a sharp and sudden gust. The ropes of the ship begin to vibrate. Bjorn goes to the rigging. He must ensure the machine is ready for the change in weather. He checks the ropes of the sail. The hemp is heavy and rough. It is covered in a layer of salt and pine tar. He finds a knot that has become loose from the constant tension. He unties it with his strong fingers. He begins again. He uses a bowline knot. This is a technical masterpiece of Viking engineering. It is a loop that does not slip, it becomes stronger as the pressure increases. He moves along the hull. He checks the leather ties. These are the scars. They hold the planks to the frames of the ship. The ship must be flexible. It must be able to twist and bend to survive the heavy waves. If the ship was too rigid, it would crack under the force of the North Atlantic. Bjorn tightens a loose strap made of walrus hide. He feels the tension in the cord. It is a solid and certain feeling. He uses a wooden peg to secure a joint. He is a maintainer of the system. He spends an hour checking every connection. His hands are covered in pine tar and salt. He smells the resin. It is the scent of the forest protecting them from the sea. He checks the anchor rope. He makes sure it is coiled perfectly. A tangled rope is a danger in a storm. He checks the shields tied to the side of the hull. He ensures the leather straps are tight. Bjorn knows that the safety of the crew depends on these small details. He is a guardian of the structure. He feels the integrity of the wood. He uses a small mallet to tap the rivets. He listens for the sound. A sharp ring means the connection is solid. A dull thud means it needs attention. This is the inspection of the machine. He is satisfied with his work. The ship is tight. The knots are secure. The machine is ready for the night. He feels the vibration of the ship. It is a clean and healthy sound. The longship is a work of art. It is a piece of logic that floats on the chaos of the sea. Chapter 11. The Ocean Toilet. The day is long and the body has its own requirements. Bjorn moves toward the front of the longship. This area is the bow. In the world of the Vikings, there is no private room. There is no luxury of a door. There is only the wind and the sea. He finds a spot near the edge where the hull meets the dragonhead. He holds onto a thick rope for stability. The ship is still moving with the waves. It rises and falls. He must time his movements with the rhythm of the ocean. He looks out at the water as he performs his task. The wind is cold against his skin. This is a moment of raw reality. It is a humbling ritual. Even the greatest navigator must submit to the needs of the body. He is a biological machine in a physical world. He uses a piece of old rope or a handful of dried moss to clean himself. These materials are kept in a small bucket nearby. He throws the waste into the ocean. The waves wash it away instantly. It is returned to the cycle of the deep. He feels the spray of the sea on his face. It is a sharp and refreshing sting. He does not feel shame. In the logic of the ship, everything is open and honest. The crew understands the necessity. He watches the horizon while he waits. He sees the light changing on the surface of the waves. He washes his hands in a bucket of cold seawater. He rubs them together to remove the salt. He feels fresh and light. The cold water wakes up his senses. He takes a deep breath of the air. It is pure and untainted. He returns to his bench. His body is at peace. The maintenance of the self is as important as the maintenance of the ship. He sits and breathes the salt air. He is ready for the final hours of the day. He looks at his companions. They are doing the same. It is a shared experience of the human condition. The logic of life is maintained. He is a man among men. He is a part of the natural order. The bow is quiet. The ship moves on. Everything is in balance. Chapter 12. Gathering the food. The sun is beginning to dip toward the horizon. The water is calmer now. The surface is like a sheet of hammered silver. Bjorn sees a flash of movement near the side of the ship. It is a school of mackerel. They are moving fast. He calls to two other men. They pull a net of woven flax from a storage chest. The net is weighted with stones. They drop it over the side with a soft splash. They move the ship slowly to trap the fish. Bjorn watches the tension in the net. He feels the vibration of the fish through the rope. They pull the net back onto the deck. It is a collective effort. They pull in rhythm. The net is heavy and vibrating with life. 50 silver fish are spilling onto the grey wood. This is the fresh bounty of the sea. It is a gift of the ocean. Bjorn uses a small iron knife to clean the fish. He works with quick and rhythmic movements. He has done this thousands of times. Slice, clean, toss. The entrails are thrown back into the water. The gulls scream as they dive for the scraps. They will eat some of the fish tonight. They will grill them over a small charcoal brazier. The smoke will be thin and dissipate quickly. The rest of the fish will be salted and put into a wooden barrel. This is how the system of the ship survives. They do not just carry food, they find it. The ocean is their storehouse. It is a reservoir of energy. Bjorn feels a sense of security. They have the tools and the skill to feed themselves. They are not victims of the sea. They are its masters. He watches the silver scales on his hands. They shine in the late afternoon light. He feels the abundance. This is the logic of the hunter. The world provides if you know how to ask. The gathering is done. The silver fish are secured. The smell of fresh mackerel is strong and clean. It is the smell of a successful day. He wipes his knife and smiles. The larder is full. The men are happy. They have fresh meat for the evening. Chapter 13. The Final Watch. The sun has disappeared. The sky is a deep indigo. The stars are beginning to appear. They are tiny points of white light in the vast darkness. Bjorn is assigned to the first watch of the night. This is the time of the eyes. The rest of the crew lies down on the benches. They pull their sheepskin furs over their bodies. They become silent mounds of wool. Soon the ship is quiet. Only the sound of the wind and the creak of the wood remains. Bjorn stands by the mast. He is the guardian of the vessel. He looks at the stars. He finds the North Star. He calls it the Ledstjerne. It is a steady point of light. It is his ultimate reference. He uses it to verify their position one last time. He checks the constellation of the Great Bear. He is measuring the rotation of the universe. He listens for the sound of breaking waves. If he hears a roar, it means they are hitting rocks. If he hears a whistle, it is the wind in the rigging. He feels the temperature of the air. It is becoming colder. The moisture is turning to frost on the deck. He wraps his heavy wool cloak tighter around his shoulders. He is a guardian of 30 lives. He is the one who stays awake so the others can dream. He feels the weight of the silence. It is a heavy and comfortable weight. It is the weight of responsibility. He is at one with the ship and the stars. He thinks about the ancestors who sailed these same paths. He feels their presence in the cold wind. He is a link in a long chain of explorers. He watches the phosphorescence in the wake of the ship. It looks like liquid stars. He feels the movement of the galaxy. He is the consciousness of the longship. He watches the moon rise. It is a silver sliver on the horizon. He is calm. He is ready for the night. The watch is his meditation. He is the light in the dark. He keeps his gaze fixed on the west. He is the sentinel of the future. The night is long, but he is not tired. He is the navigator. Chapter 14. Resting in the furs. His watch is over. The next man takes his place by the mast. They exchange a nod in the darkness. No words are needed. Bjorn returns to his oar bench. He is exhausted. His muscles are heavy and soft. His mind is finally slowing down. He reaches under the seat. He pulls out his sleeping bag made of thick reindeer fur. The fur is dense and hollow. It is the best insulation in the world. He slides inside. The fur is warm and smells of the hearth at home. He feels the heat of his own body, trapped by the skin. He lies on his back and looks up at the stars. The longship is rocking gently in the swell. It is a cradling motion. It is the rhythm of the mother sea. He hears the breathing of his companions. He hears the rhythmic snoring of the men. He hears the soft creak of the oak planks as they flex. These are the sounds of safety. These are the sounds of home on the water. He thinks about the puffin and the sunstone. He thinks about the seeds in the hull. He thinks about the seals in the hull. He thinks about the silver mackerel. The day is complete. The logic of the voyage is secure. He has navigated another day of the great ocean. He has brought his people closer to the dream. He is Bjorn. He is a Viking. He is a navigator of the unknown. He feels the tension leaving his hands. He feels his feet becoming warm. He is sinking into the fur. He is becoming part of the ship. He is a component in a living machine. The darkness is a soft blanket. The ocean is a steady song. He thinks about the land they will find tomorrow. He imagines the smell of the grass. He feels the weight of his eyelids. They are heavy like the iron rivets. He is drifting into the deep. He is letting go of the horizon. The logic of the day is over. The logic of the dream is beginning. He closes his eyes and lets the rest take him. He is safe. He is home. The journey continues in his dreams. The rest is deep. Sleep now. Sleep.